I want to talk about an incident that happened in the Chinatown International District yesterday, and this has been going on. Yeah, you know, Seattle's Chinatown International District is more than just a fun place to grab dim sum or get a unique gift. It has rich history, though it was kind of born from a dark time in our history. Racism created Chinatowns all across the country, including Seattle, in the early 1900s. But even today, groups within the district say they are still fighting racism with each other. Many in the Filipino community say they are not being recognized in the district by some of their Chinese neighbors, and they are fighting to change that.
My name is Devin Cabanilla, and I'm part of the Filipino Town Coalition. Chinatown exists because of segregation. It exists because all the outside forces pushed Asians into one place because they assumed we are all the same. We've always seen ourselves underneath a different group. Filipinos haven't claimed enough for themselves. The reason why this is a systemic problem is because it affects city policy and different institutions, and the reason why it's unconscious bias is because people who may be speaking against Filipinos don't realize that it's very specific to one ethnic group. It's a very big concern because in the International District, it's always been very diverse, and Filipinos have been part of the fabric of Seattle, especially from the 1920s forward. There's always been a very large concentration of Filipinos. On the opposite side, it says honoring Filipinos, but then you get over here in Chinatown. It's just old thinking that's getting in the way of the diversity of the district and the inclusion that we're trying to build in Seattle.
So last night, members of the Filipino Coalition met with some folks from a Chinese group. They passionately hashed it out, but started making some progress by the end of the meeting on how to acknowledge Filipino history within the district. So that could mean like maybe we'll see more memorials or plaques acknowledging some former Filipino landmarks and businesses or where people lived. But really there is a bigger backstory here. It deals with the city council deleting a reference to Manilatown in 2017, but that kind of gets into the weeds of everything. But nonetheless, the dynamic of the ethnic groups within the CID is very interesting, and how we go forward as a city, I think, is really compelling. You know, if you go to San Francisco, the Chinatown there is such a world-renowned Chinatown where people go and they visit. And, you know, could that happen in Seattle? And if we do go forward with that, how do we want it to look as a city?
We want it to be representative of everyone who was part of building it.
Right.
Yeah, and I have to say I'm appreciative that you brought this story to light. There were a lot of things I learned I didn't know, and it reminded me of why I love this show, because we hear from a variety of people.
Yeah, we
and
do.
their stories.
I like that about the show, too.
But I'm just being honest.
Yeah, but, you know, and there's so much to learn, too, because there's so much rich history within our city, and especially within the Chinatown International District. And, you know, I'm learning, too, so it's really, it's fun to learn, but also how do we go forward?
Yeah, perfect. Yeah.